Hello, everyone, and welcome to Comics News Today. My name is Cheshire C. Busby III, and I am, of course, joined by the amazing Pie Master Booster, the chairman of the board, DeWolf, the Denali Lama, the amazing Pixel Trader. And we are going to get into some fun news today, and we're going to be talking about IndyCar quite a bit. So let me just come over here to the panel and say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, I guess. It's morning for me, but Booster, I got a beautiful sunny day over here. I got myself a cup of coffee, and I'm sitting with a bunch of friends. How you feeling, man?
Yeah, it's also beautiful over here. I don't have a cup of coffee, and I'm sitting with. They're okay, I guess.
Okay, all right. Thanks, man. I had I can feel the love. So how's it going, Mr. Chairman?
Well, it started out rainy and drizzly for us, but the sky actually did clear up. So it's been a happy day ever since.
Oh, that's good. That's good. And the Denali Lama, any words of wisdom for me to start my morning?
Yeah, actually,
Oh, okay. Okay.
no, actually, it's good. It's like to do something you enjoy is not work. To do something good, that's what it's all worth it.
Makes it all worth it. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And of course, we are with Pixel Trader. Sir, how are you doing today? And is the weather nice where you are?
It's pretty nice out there. Yeah, I haven't really gone outside today though. I've been inside working, unfortunately.
Oh, well, hey, sitting and slaving behind that computer, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I had a late night after launching IndyCron, so I figured, keep it going.
Well, I hope
I'm
you
gonna
are.
nap
I
after
hope
this.
you are bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, man, because we're going to be draining all that information out of you for this new Unicron we're going to be looking at here today. But just before we do move on to the news, just keep in mind we have all our links down below, guys. Certainly go over there and check those out. Go to Fanspeak on the Facebook group and join us. Also, if you want to be on the show, just contact me at Chester C. Busby III on Facebook. The link's right there, and tell me Chester put you on the show, and Chester will do so. Also, keep in mind we have our donations link down there. If you want to support our giveaways and such like that, please do so. Yeah, yesterday we had our Halloween show, and that was a great fun show. I had a good time. The raffle was very successful. I don't know the exact final numbers, but they made good money on that, and they've actually started giving it out. We had our winners, and of course the winners for our art contest were Benjamin. Let me make sure I say this correctly. Benjamin Hopwood for the logo, and John Dillard for the mascot. And they were great wins. I'm very happy those won. And we're going to start integrating them and putting them into stuff. And we are already in process for doing the alternate comic. And we'll let you know exactly when that is and what it is so you guys can pick it up. But that was a lot of fun. Did you guys enjoy that Halloween show yesterday?
Oh yeah, it was a loads of fun.
Yeah, it was, man. I loved it. All right. Well, let's go ahead and let's get into our first story so we can get right over to the main thing of today. The first story is kind of interesting, guys. This one here is Ewan McGregor cast as Black Mask in Birds of Prey. Now, I guess this has a little bit of a mixed feeling for me, but what do you guys think about this news? Anybody got any opinions on it?
Darling, Ewan McGregor can get cast on anything he likes.
That is true. That is true. But what do you think about the
Hello
Birds of
there.
Prey show, though?
I never saw it. Apparently, it was a bit crap.
It only lasted a season, not a full season. So I did watch it because it was comic book superheroes and all that stuff. But yeah, it depends on how well they film and do the story. It could be awesome. It could be a new franchise, or it could be like the Suicide Squad. A lot of eye candy, but no substance.
True.
And it's a bit and it's bittersweet as well because I really wanted the Obi-Wan Kenobi film.
Well, who knows? It seems like they're focusing on TV stuff over there for that. But now you said it was like half a season, and then it sounded like you were saying it was canceled, but yet they're casting Ewan McGregor in it, so they must be bringing it back.
Well, it's not the same Birds of Prey, so the TV show and the movie is completely different.
I
because
see.
the TV
I see.
show
Okay.
came in the early 2000, late 90s. So it was in that vein
Oh, I
of
see. Okay.
yeah.
No, that's cool, man. I like you, McGregor, and Black Mask is a pretty cool villain. I like Black Mask. I just hope they do it justice. How
Yeah, I
about?
think the cool thing is going to be seeing him in a villain role.
Mm,
He's done some gritty things. He's been the guy maybe on the fence and whatnot. But when you're talking just someone like that in one of the older movies he's done versus a bona fide villain, that's going to be neat to see him pull that off.
He's also usually the eye candy for the ladies, so it's going to be strange having him obscuring his face.
Yeah,
that's a good point. But now you think you think they'll keep the mask on all the time? Is he brave like from Judge Dredd? Who I can't remember the God, his name's right on the tip of my tongue.
Carl.
Carl Urban. Carl Urban. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
no,
so cool, man.
Yeah, it's great that they kept the mask on for that.
Yeah. As
But
they should.
where they screwed up was like with Deadshot with Will Smith. He had his mask off all the time because Will Smith, of course, has a marketable face.
You got to show that
Right.
face, yeah. And, they probably
And most likely they'll just have him wear the mask towards the end where they're having the big fight, and most of the time he's going to just present himself as this savvy businessman or whatever.
Now let me now correct me if I'm wrong, but if I remember the Black Mask, I thought the mask was fused to him. Am I wrong?
I think so.
Yeah,
sure it was fused to him.
but before it got fused,
You talk about like an origin story. Yeah, chat. Let us
Yeah.
know. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. And just hello, chat. How you doing? Just real quick before we move on to the next one. Jordan. Hello. Derek Tyler. How you doing? Maverick Max. Hello. How you doing? All right. Great. Glad to see you guys over here in the chat. And Derek says that first time Ewan is villain, I believe. So it should be interesting. Yeah, I think we all agree. That's cool. All right, just
So here's
remember. Yeah, go ahead.
so here's one thing about the actual Birds of Prey side of this instead of the Black Mask, right? A group of ladies, super heroines, if you will, and I think that really has a lot of good potential still, and really with Ian McGregor, right, as the other side of that. I mean, if you don't step up your acting, have great writing for the women on the movie, then he just is going to overpower them as far as acting because it's Ian McGregor. But here's another part of that I find interesting is which is great from the cultural standpoint of having more women on screen. That's great, right? Everyone that wants to get behind that as an agenda point can do so. But I could be totally wrong here. I do live in the middle of America, but the term birds booster, is that a derogatory statement in certain countries?
Birds. Well, you mean like something like England, where it's just a term for the girls, Oh, yeah, we're going to go and get some birds, eh? I don't think it's derogatory.
Okay. Well, you never know what person is going to go onto Twitter, drag up an old word like that, make it a big deal, and try to throw mud.
Oh, I hope they
Yeah,
do.
they always try to make the term girl a big deal when it's a superhero name, like Supergirl or whatever.
Yeah,
Right,
no, I
so-
hope they do, dude. I hope they go and attack the hell out of it because that the Birds of Prey, the female heroes or the heroines, in this thing are going to be super SJW progressives. They are. It's coming
Yeah.
because they can't resist. They can't help themselves, right? So they're going to be coming out, and then you'll have people throwing mud at it. It's perfect. They'll just be devouring themselves like a bunch of cannibals. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
Otherwise, I just wish him success, otherwise, just
Yeah,
because
sure.
it sounds like a good premise.
And here's a little bit of the origin story for Black Mask. I looked it up. He says Roman was born to a wealthy and utterly self-absorbed parents who care more about their social status in Gotham than their own sons. Moments after Roman's birth, the doctor carelessly dropped him on his head, and his parent covered it up so their high friends society couldn't find out. A year later, he was attacked by a rabid raccoon in the family country estate.
Sierra whiskey, come
Sierra
on.
whiskey, man, what are you doing?
And his parent forbade him from mentioning the incident to anyone. And despite their dislike to fellow socialite like Thomas and Martha Wayne, Roman's parent continued to associate with them to maintain their social standing and force Roman to befriend their son Bruce. So this is another Batman Rogue Gallery villain. His parents' hypocrisy has a deep impact on Roman, and he grew to resent them in the mask they wore in public. And then moving on a year later, he assembles a criminal organization called the False Face Society. And what you were talking about, Chester, was after being disillusioned and going down the gutter, he goes to the family crypt, but before he can unlock it, a lightning bolt strikes him, and he hurling Roman face first into the stone and causing his rebirth. And then he smashed open the crypt of his father's casket and carves out the piece into a skull-like mask. And that's how he gets his black mask from the smashed casket of his father's crib.
Crypt. I see. Oh, okay.
Crypt. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, there you go. There's that information.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just over here checking on the Birds of Prey, and this is what it looks like we have here. We have Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. Fine. Yeah, but I actually don't mind Margot Robbie, and in Suicide Squad, she was certainly a hot ticket. I mean, she's a pretty girl, but I have to say, I don't know why she's not very old, but her age is hitting her so hard and fast. It's kind of sad. It's going to hurt her a lot. You know how Hollywood is. They talk about all this diversity and equality and stuff, but as soon as a girl gets even close to looking old, they kick her out, right?
Right.
Yeah. So, but being two-faced is a pretty standard thing for them. Haha, that was a DC joke.
Well, there's a lot of two-faced people around.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead, I have no clue, is playing Huntress. I like the Huntress character. I hope they don't screw that up. Oh, they will.
That actress played in the Thing prequel. If you watch that one, and she was also in Scott Pilgrim versus the World with as the main love interest for the main character, Ramona Flowers, and she was also in Sky High as.
Okay, so let
Roman.
me express how uninterested I am in all those movies.
How dare you?
Yes, you could take your
Dare.
loves of your generation and throw them in the garbage, as far as I'm concerned, Booster.
I'll throw you in the garbage.
Okay, fine. All right. They also have this Journée Smollett Bell. I don't know. She's a real beautiful girl though, playing Black Canary. You have Rosie Perez playing Renee Montoya. Of course, Rosie is playing Renee Montoya, and that's all I see. They haven't really cast much. They don't even have Ewan McGregor on here yet. I'm just looking at IMDb. I like those characters, but they're gonna go at it hard with the progressive stuff. Oh, they do have them listed. Sorry, and they at least one, two, or all of them are going to be lesbians, or at least what is that? Where they use polyamorous or what have you?
Yeah, Renee Montoya is actually lesbian, so you'll know that she's the lesbian couple.
Well, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Well, let me come over here and read some of the chats, guys. So we have Hoth Rebel is here. He says he's still angry about Wolverine not wearing a mask in the movies. Yeah, I get you, man. I get you. But I love those the movies. I mean, they weren't all great, but that last Logan, that was so great. That was a good movie unto itself. I mean, can I get an amen?
Amen.
Amen, Lord. The question about that is whether or not it would translate well into live action, because some costumes just don't. Some costumes just look a little silly in live action.
Yeah, that's true. I get it, though. I do get it, dude. I'm a big Wolverine fan. See, Joshua Hughes says, hi, hail Raven. Okay, fine. Hail Raven. Hail Pope. Hail all the popes. But Joshua, of course, is our favorite troll. Thank you for coming. Sarah Whiskey, greeting Busby and friends. All right. Greeting to you, too, our rabid, rioting raccoon. Okay. Let's see if we have any other comments. Derek says, I love the BOP. I hope they don't muck up the character. I don't know what he means by BOP. Help me. Oh, Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dinah Lance is a black woman in this. I just saw that.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well, they
Yeah.
love to do that. I don't mind them
Your
doing the
name,
background
Smell It
characters though.
Bell? Smello Bell? Smell It Bell? That is a very unfortunate last name.
Yeah.
But yep, she is a very black woman.
Sierra Whiskey says, "That's slanderous. They always blame the raccoons. I bet it was a weasel." Probably true.
I'm
Benjamin
pretty
Hop, Benjamin Hopwood. I want to say thank you for all the kind words about my logo last night. Glad everyone liked it. Dude, I liked it a lot. Everyone liked it. It was really cool. And thank you very much, sir, because your logo is now the official logo of Fanspeak, and you just made a lot of work for me because I need to take that logo and replace it on every video I've made.
It's ours now. You can't have it.
Yeah,
So-
it is ours now, yeah.
Yeah, so the team line up you kind of mentioned earlier, which is Harley Quinn, the Huntress, Black Canary, the Question, because that's what Renee Montoya is going to be playing, as well as Carissa Kane, which is Batwoman. And I'm bringing this up because it's another DC character where they are appearing in the film, but they're also going to be appearing in the small screen as a TV show. And it starts making sense of why they DCEU to the worlds of DC. So basically, what it sounds like, they're gonna, instead of following Marvel with their things, they're gonna do Elseworlds. Basically, that's why we have different Jokers. That's why we have different Flashes, different Titans, different Justice Leagues, kind of deal. Because then it starts making sense why they're naming it the worlds of DC. They're going to do the multi-universe, and part of the CW event Elseworlds is bring in the Monitor, which I kind of had to laugh a little bit when they showed the picture.
Yeah.
But I think it's basically a glimmer of what DC is doing, because they're having much success in the television shows, but their film is struggling. But if they are able to make into multiverse, there may be a chance that they'll move those more popular characters from the TV and have them do crossovers to the movie. But that's only speculation based on the little information we have.
Well, the problem with all that is they're making really, really mediocre stuff. So
I just looked up the Monitor.
It's funny, right? I got a kick out of
Oh
it. Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
He looks like someone's awkward cosplay trying to pose for a photo.
We've been seeing a lot of that, right? We saw the Lobo mock-up. It looks like a bad cosplay. I mean, it's just, come on, guys, do better, right? Same with the Bane one. Oh, that was so bad. But
I don't know.
There is a comment here. I'd like yeah, come on. There is a comment here that I need a little help with. Sierra Whiskey says, "Oh, I hear her. Even if Renfremus likes to cosplay as her, I don't understand what he means."
She's talking about the Scott Pilgrim character.
Yeah,
Ramona Flowers.
Yeah, Mary Elizabeth Winstead played Ramona Flowers, and Renfremus, one of her favorite things. I guess from what Sierra Whiskey is saying, is Ramona Flowers.
Okay. I saw that Scott Pilgrim. It was all right, but it became a cultural hit, though. I mean, cultural icon in a way. I don't know exactly why, but I guess I'm just too old to get it.
I like anything Edgar Wright makes.
Well, if you want to think about it, Scott Pilgrim is what the SJWs see themselves as. From the main character, from the best friend who's gay, from the band member who wants to be cool and hip, but his secret is gay at the end, plus the sister who's snotty and foul mouth, where they have to bleep her out. Ha ha ha, funny kind of thing. To pink hairdo who has exes and it's mysterious.
Oh yeah, you're right. Actually, but at that time, that wasn't really a thing yet, was it? So I didn't recognize it. I get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, you know how sometimes films are prescient.
Yeah, they project the future, right? You're right.
Yeah.
Sierra Whiskey says Jason Momoa as Lobo would have knocked it out of the park. Yes, yes, brother. That
Would
is
have been
exactly
perfect.
true. They screwed up making him Aquaman. I don't know what they were thinking.
They wanted the cool points for Aquaman because Aquaman, just the role itself brings negative cool points. So they needed someone with enough plus cool points to bump it up. You know what I mean?
That's true. Hello,
Mm.
Kronos, Chiron. Hello, William. All right, guys. We got to move on to another article. Or you just want to get into Indicron? Maybe we should just go into Indicron. What do you
We'll
think?
do one more article, and then IndyCon for the rest of the show.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, this one. Let's talk about this one a little bit. Here we go. Now, you guys. Oh, it doesn't want to do this. Leave it right like that. You guys see the Penny Dreadful series?
Yeah, I did when they first aired in Showtime.
How about you, DeWolf?
Nope.
No.
No, I did not.
Oh, no for Booster. How about Pixel?
Nope, never followed it.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, you guys take it away.
Well, no, I suggest you go see it. I mean, there's a couple of things in there that might be slightly offensive to you, but overall, I think they did a pretty fair job. I mean, it's not the greatest thing ever made, but I thought it was pretty good attempt at it. And for us, just as a note of nostalgia, Penny Dreadfuls are where comic books come from, right? So it's
Right.
historically applies to us. But I kind of liked it. If you haven't seen it, I suggest you go give it a try. I would admit it's not for everybody, especially because it has some sex stuff in it, which is unnecessary. But a lot of shows these days have unnecessary sex stuff. It just seems to be what they use to sell. But beyond that, if you can get beyond that, I thought it was pretty good. But it only made it, what, 2 seasons, maybe 3?
I think it was 2 seasons
Yeah.
because there was like a delay between seasons.
Yeah, there was some problems, I remember, yeah. But I liked it. I thought the acting was overall pretty good. And it was interesting twists, and it was but the thing is, they're bringing it back, but they're going to change the time frame, which I think is a wonderful idea, because it's a Penny Dreadful, so you can just tell different stories. They don't have to be the same stories. They should keep the show as an anthology, like that. What is that? American Horror Story? Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
Yeah, they should
their
do like that.
anthology film.
This one's called City of
Oh.
Angels in the 20th century. Nice.
So I'm catching on now. So a Penny Dreadful here in the States would also be in the West. There were dime store novels.
Yep, same thing. Penny
And then, of
Dreadful's
course,
just a
from-
Britishism, yeah.
Right. And then so from that you get the aspect of the comic book, because now it's a cheap type of entertainment that, of course, many kids like to read about Billy the Kid and Jesse James and stuff, and the dime store novels that turns into later on comic books. Penny Dreadful being the Victorian version of that, and this being Fanspeak talking about comics. It all works together. Nice.
Yeah, no, it does. Yes, thank you. That's what I was thinking. And I'm sure that's what Denali was thinking as well, because he is the Denali Lama. Namaste.
Yep.
I gotta go see this now.
Yeah, that was cool. But no, of course, those dime store novels or the Penny Dreadfuls, they came and they had a whole bunch of these detective things, and then of course the Shadow hit, and that was just a crazy hit, just insanity as far as the level of popularity. And then radio came, and then the Shadow radio show came, and that was probably
Phenomenal.
the most phenomenal success, probably the biggest success America's ever had, actually. I know people
Yeah.
can't perceive that because we're going way back to 20s and 30s, but that thing ran for what, 30 years or something like that, a ridiculous amount of time. And of course, out of the Shadow, we saw another character come up, and that, of course, was Superman. And then we saw a direct rip-off and copy. I'm sorry, Batman fans, but Batman is a direct rip-off of the Shadow. That's what it is. What
Yeah.
he is.
How dare you say this?
Well, it's true though.
Well,
So yeah, so that like the Shadow, it started in 1937,
Yeah.
and it didn't end until like 1954, 55.
Yeah, no, a long time. Wasn't 30, it's
Yeah.
20. But but that's
Yeah.
that's the whole progression, and this is what brought us comic books that we have today. So, there's also things like John Carter of Mars and other things like that that were involved in, of course. Penny Dreadful.
Now they didn't have a big company or a publisher or a distribution service, did they?
For what? What are you talking about?
For the Penny Dreadfuls.
Well, of course they had
No.
distribution and stuff. I mean, it wasn't like at today's international levels, but yeah, of course they had companies who are trying to make money and do their thing. But that
Or,
really
or would
cool.
you say they're more independent?
Oh
Yeah, they were more
yeah,
independent.
you're
there
right.
there were smaller publishers. There was like little like Times and what is it? Capital, I think, was one of them. So they're very small publishers. It's only once the adverts of superheroes and then the comic code that the advert of superheroes kind of shut up for comics.
Oh, okay. So the Comicsgate creators are like $25 Dreadfuls.
Exactly.
Exactly. But yeah, that's cool. All right, so we're sitting here at the almost the 30-minute mark, so we're going to go ahead and move over to our main topic today. So thank you all for the comments. Sierra Whiskey has he talked about dime novels. He talked about Jack London. Oh, I love Jack. I've read a lot of Jack London. Good books. James Doom is here, and he says Chester is clearly biased. Yes, Chester
Yeah.
is very biased toward chocolate.
He's
and
never
peanut
denied
butter.
it.
I've
Not
never denied
once.
it, not once. But I am fairly negatively biased against bitter chocolate. You can have that. I don't need it.
All right,
Donald Trump.
I gotta go. You guys have fun.
Hey,
All
man,
right,
thanks a lot.
thanks.
All right, Pixel.
And then
Hey, it's been a
You okay? Is your mic all right?
yeah. Can you not hear me?
Oh no, I can hear you. Yeah. We got your
Okay, sorry.
Indicron up, and sir, you have. I'm going to take just kind of scroll down and let you talk about what you've done over here. But looking great, man. So tell us exactly what have you done here? How have you upgraded? Just give us the spiel, man. Everyone's here listening.
Actually, the interesting part that's happening here is this is the medium-sized design. So this this layout is what's called responsive. And you look at it on a smaller screen, it reduces the size of the components and stuff so that it's much easier to see. The table will stay the same size, but it'll allow you to scroll side to side to see it. And so it makes it easier for smaller devices like phones and things to be able to view all this information without it being super, super tiny.
Well,
And so that was one of the big upgrades that I did here. Yeah, so when we're looking at this, this is probably like for a tablet or around the tablet size. When you see it on a normal computer screen at a standard resolution, it'll actually be formatted a little bit differently. So the logo will be on the left-hand side. There's some extra stuff around. But if you scroll back up to the top, one of the first things that, I don't know if that'll make a difference or not. At the very, very top, I've added a couple little things, just a quick shout out, actually straight all the way to the very, very top.
Oh, very top. Okay. All right.
Very, very top. We're going to start at the very, very top. So we've got a couple links at the very top, just really small little links to kind of point out to a few things. It's going to help with SEO and stuff. But Indicron, we've got a link out to my Twitter, my YouTube page, but we also have a link out to Fanspeak.
Ooh.
And I'm going to be doing some more promotion for Fanspeak shortly.
Awesome.
So I should probably talk about Patreon too, but I've set up a Patreon page to be able to support the project. If anybody wants to, buy me a coffee or something, and I've got a $2 tier where you can support Indicron for as long as you'd like. But if anybody would like to support it, please, help me out. It'd be fine.
I think
what
you
I
should
plan
buy
to
him a
do
coffee
with this,
and a cookie.
I love cookies. Anyway, support your campaign right now only goes to my Twitter DMs. However, we're going to be changing that to be an actual form with information that I send out a huge blurb, and I've read it to everybody before, but that blurb covers what it's get placed on this list. And so that's going to be a page and a form so people can submit it instead of having to go through Twitter. Next, we've already had that before, but there are some planned upgrades coming very, very soon. Upgrades is the ability to put the most recent. I think that we need to start showing off some of the newer books that are coming in faster. And so what I may wind up doing is probably like the last 2 or 3 ending, and the newest 3. But I'm also going to rotate some ads through here for channels.
Cool.
may need a little more help,
Mm.
I'm going to start putting that information through here.
That's a good idea. And by the way, guys, you supporting Pixel Trader and his Inicron supports us as well, because Inicron is our sponsor, and he's always, as you see, he's always helping promote us and push us along, and we appreciate all that. And yes, so please support Pixelman.
Thank you. If we go a little bit further down, one of the hidden features that I haven't really talked to too many people about, but you guys know about it, is the ability to sort these table columns now. So if you were to click on title, for instance, it'll now go ABC order, and you can see what's going to happen there.
Sweet.
Cooler ones, I personally find, are because we know who the big dogs are, but the backers. Fun to play with because
Ooh, look at that.
actually the top dog for backing is Jawbreakers versus Cyberfrog.
It is. He just said a price of your book. Yeah.
And the top 3 books, 2 of them are actually Richard's.
Yep. Yeah. No, Richard, I wish he was more directly involved in the community, but he just isn't that kind of guy. But yeah, he is very successful at what he does.
Yeah, and what's cool about this is that you show the funding where it's at, but it'll also show the goal, the initial goal, where Jawbreaker initial goal was 5,000, and then it ended at $404 or $404,912. So that's pretty good. And also you also show the average buy-in of the campaigner, which was $38 from the backers.
Yeah, I love that. That's a cool tag. Actually.
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah, the original design only had a overall kind of thing, and that's still down at the bottom showing the average for all campaigns, but I felt that we needed to break this down a little more and show how each book is really being supported, because those numbers kind of don't really reflect the community as a whole.
And that's an automatic algorithm, just like everything else, right?
Yep, everything is automated. So I'm just doing a little bit of math on the back end to figure out those numbers.
Yes,
just
I
backers
think you're
or funding divided by
exaggerating.
backers. Yeah.
I think it's a lot of math. It's not a little.
No, it's not too much math, but there is a lot of automation that I've written that handles all of this. So the process, literally from getting somebody to come to me on Twitter and say, hey, I would love to be listed on them with a wall of text that says, hey, these are the rules for being listed here. I need these pieces of information. So they give me the URL, they give me the names of their creative team. Once I've got that information loaded in, it's out of my hands at that point. And now I'm just going in, and actually this website handles everything else from there. So I'm pretty much hands off, but it's still a lot of work because I've been getting a ton of requests lately. Like in the last, 3 days, I've had 6 campaigns come to me.
Wow.
And so we've had a lot of stuff show up suddenly.
Yeah, so Chester, hit the funding. I think you can show like the new ones.
Sure. There we go.
There you go. So
yeah,
Phantom Booster, Stitchwalker. Go ahead, Buster. Sorry, Phantom Buster.
Yeah, Phantom Buster struggling. I kind of knew they were going to, though. We've talked about that one already, but a couple of the newer ones that just came out, or just came to me, actually, Chateau Obsidian.
Yep.
That one right there, the second one there, just came to me and got added recently. Let's see. What else? Little Girl Lethal, Rowdy Roddy Piper, which looks awesome.
Okay.
Model 316 has a very special campaign.
Did they
there
jump
too,
up
but
real
yeah.
quick? Oh, they did. Look, they made money instant. Oh, sweet.
Yeah, Little Girl Lethal is kicking butt. They're going to hit their goal pretty fast, I think.
Can we take a look at it? Or you want to stay on this page and do it later?
No, go for it.
Okay. Oh, look at the art.
Yeah, and I think these guys did it the right way. They had a lot of goodwill in the community, a lot of friendships, had been supporting other creators, like helping to promote them as well. There's a bunch of fan art that was floating around, and plus you've got a sexy character. I mean, it's hard not to have people buy into your book.
Sugar Lightspeed. I love that. That is a great name, man.
Yeah.
See, it's those little things.
It's an interesting book.
Nick, go ahead, man.
Yep. they've got some interesting perks. Actually, they have a $1 perk, which is so it's just like a thank you. Artwork is pretty good. Very cheesecake in certain areas.
Excessive
but
cheesecake.
But I think it's got a pretty good feel to it. I'm kind of curious what they're going to do with it, because it could go really, really bad really quick, or it could be a lot of fun.
This guy draws sexy girl real well.
Yeah, and the colorist, they've gone with a really interesting style. It almost looks like a watercolor.
Yeah, you're right.
It's more digital, I think, but it's definitely different than what we've seen for a lot of the books.
What is her superpower? Do we know?
Dove too far into that. Aside from being sexy, apparently, and kicking people's butt, I'm not really sure if she has any other powers. But she looks like she can do a lot of stuff. Multitasking, I guess. I'm not. A good aim if she's shooting off of a bike, though.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, the only problem, it doesn't matter. I mean, just have a fun book. But I always prefer, if you're going to have some petite little thing, they need to have a reason why they can kick butt. Now, if she's simply a really, really good at shooting and a very highly skilled combatant, I guess that's fine, especially if her enemies aren't superpowered. But you know, a lot of times they take a female character and they treat her like a big old buff male character when it comes to fighting, and that's not how you do it. They gotta fight in a more subtle way, right?
Yeah, and there's definitely no subtlety in this.
No. But I don't know. It looks awesome.
For sure.
Dude. It looks awesome.
So it says, yeah, just reading the page, for in her childhood, she was delivered into carnal bondage to be the plaything of monster lurking within humanity. But a dark Ronin, an elite assassin, came and rescued her, raising her to maturity to be an incapable killer whose retribution will shake the foundation of her world. So I guess she's a deadly assassin. Out for revenge.
Well, that's good.
Incomparable
killer. Yeah.
They're comparable, yeah.
Yeah, no, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'm glad they add that little bit of to the story. You got to have that. But it looks cool, man. All right, let me come back over here, Unicron.
Right on. A few other ones that have. Let's see. Is there one really close to there? We already talked about Johnny Phantasm. Let's go up a little bit.
Up this way, you mean down in this?
Yeah. Roddy Piper. Yeah, check this out.
All right, let's check this out. I love Roddy Piper. I don't understand how he could be. They could make something with someone's likeness without rights. So I hope they have the rights.
It kind of seems like they may have the rights to this, or for it, but I haven't talked to him too much about the project. As soon as I saw it, though, I'm like, okay, I got to get these guys in this.
Or it could be,
but they got the likeness pretty good.
Or it could be a parody, which kind of like how Stealing Solo. It's using Harrison Ford's likeness, but as a one-off.
Yeah, but they're using the name and everything, dude. And it's not only his name; it's his licensed name for WWE, right? It's the Roddy Piper, and I wonder if they even have Hot Rod in here.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's on this chest. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. They don't have that logo on there. Interesting.
Yeah, but I don't know.
So maybe they couldn't do that. Yeah. Looks pretty funny. I mean, he's got a shark beat up in the background. You've got puppets and robots, and looks like an octopus. So, who knows what's going to happen here? Yeah. I'm really curious to see Zombies Dead. But
I love Piper.
This just looks like a fun project.
Yeah, I love Piper when I was a kid. That's cool.
Yeah, me too.
Welcome, John Dillon.
And then,
he says, Hot Rod. Dr. Wright, hello. Yeah, okay.
One of the other ones I wanted to point out was Model 316.
Okay. And
was recently on our show. Yeah, it's going to be, I think, towards the top of this list because they haven't got a whole lot of funding yet.
He was doing the CG Freddy, wasn't he?
Yeah, no, he did. It looked really cool, too. He's actually very good at it.
This is an interesting campaign because it's not a book. Most of the other campaigns that we've got are all based around some kind of art book or comic book or something. The project is more in line with creating a platform for other creators to get stuff done for them. And so what he's looking for is funding to be able to set up his shop and really get more equipment and stuff so he can do a lot of the stuff in a faster turnaround and be able to knock out a bunch of really cool things.
Okay, well, we need to get a hold of him. We need to get a hold of him, dude. We need to sit down and have a conversation because I like the guy. I talked with the guy. He's really skilled. He's a nice fellow. And this is a horrible Indiegogo page.
Yeah, it needs a little bit of help. It needs a little bit of help, but he needs to get some of the other artists to help him out, I think, because really what he's trying to do is create like the character. I don't know if he's done a bunch of stuff already. That I'm not sure why he didn't.
I know. I just
but
if you're hearing
perks
me,
are cool.
Model 3, come and talk to us, man, because we'll find somebody that can help you because. I like the idea. I'll go ahead and continue, Pixel, but I'm just saying that this isn't good, man. This is going to hurt you. We've been talking about this. You need to have. I mean, your perks on the side are great. That's fine. That's not an issue. But in the body here, you need to have something that's going to pull the eye. It's unfortunate, but that's the way humans work, right?
Yeah. Kind of like the miniatures for like. For example, like the Cyberfrog miniatures. I don't know if you're working with that or is that somebody else, or like Red Rooster. Kind of like a sample of what you're trying to achieve, what you are bringing to the table, as well.
And you got to choose your title card for your video better. This, I mean, I understand you want to have that, and that should be like your intro with your Model 316 coming up. But there should be a piece of art sitting right there, like a logo or something, you know. It's yeah.
And that's actually better than what he had before. He had one that was in red, and it was pretty gnarly, actually. It was really jagged. It was hard to read. I honestly think he probably should have had the third picture in that list actually in the content here, because it's showing the different characters stuff that he's working on.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Something to see that much larger.
Yeah, it should have been down in there. But yeah, we got to get in touch with him because you know. But beyond that, please continue. What is he trying to do? Sorry.
No, it's okay. So he's trying to get, unlike all these other books and stuff where they're actually trying to sell you a book, what he's doing here is he's trying to build up his workspace so that he can do more 3D and have more capabilities to help the community when they come to him to do 3D projects. He wants to be able to really have a full center to be able to pump out these 3D products. But what he is doing, though, is if you scroll down a little bit, these perks are basically little coins, all the different campaigns that are currently out there, or something similar. You know, you've got Tug, you've got Secret Comics, which is Nasser, his thing. And there's a few other little. Sugar Lightspeed has a coin in there as well. So he's already made connections with the community. There's some really cool looking coins, and so it'd be neat to get some cool stuff from that.
No, it would be cool. I'm glad what he's doing here, and I want to have promotion from him, and I think there's a lot that he can do. He's very skilled. But yeah, we gotta help him out. Definitely. Yeah. All right. So, what else you want to look at here? Is there any other components of the mechanics you want to talk about?
There's a few more things that are going to be coming that haven't really been done yet. Markers that show up in the coming days. What I'm planning on doing is another little bit of math. The funding goals, color coding those. So for campaigns that have reached their goal, they're going to be green. Any campaign that is close to reaching their goal, but it hasn't quite got there, maybe like in the 80 to 90% range, I'm going to make them orange, so people can see that the goal is close to being met, but not quite there. What I probably won't do is do red, because I think red is just too negative. So any campaign that is just really far off still, I think I'll leave that as that grayish kind of there. But that's going to be there shortly. Other things I'm going to be bringing in are the rating system. A lot of the campaigns now have contacted me and said, yeah, we'd love to have our rating put on here. So I'll start putting the voluntary rating system into place. The other major thing that I'm working on, though, which a lot of people have asked me for this list. So being able to disable all of the closed campaigns, or being able to maybe only show the ones that are in demand or something like that. So we know which ones are still out there. Yeah.
What do you say,
so
Mr.?
It's a little...
I was just saying it's a good idea, but what do you mean by a rating system? What was that?
So the rating system is like a voluntary, so like the PEGI system or movie rating system, like PG-13, E for everyone, like the gaming system. I haven't quite broke that down yet, but I know a lot of people have kids. They want to buy some books for their children. They don't necessarily know least most of these campaigns have a really good description of their books.
Yeah.
And a lot of these are targeted for adults, but sometimes it would be nice to say, is this book, and just really quickly look at it. So if I can have
T-Bird in front of like a
the
bit friendly, but then you'd look down, you see like a big hole in a dude's chest. Yeah.
right,
Right.
yeah, kids probably don't want to see that. It is voluntary and it's I want to say self-inflicted. That's not quite it. It's
Wouldn't the problem be that the
self-regulated.
kids do want to see it?
Yeah, true. Yeah, so we'll have to see. But what I want to do is also do a filtering system for that. So if it's all mature stuff, they want to disable the mature ones. They only want to see E, or they only want to see one of the other ones. They'll be able to click on that, and then those will only be the campaigns that show up. So it'll be easier for them to find.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
At the very bottom, if you can click on the little Patreon link there.
Yep.
Something that I've been doing here is blurb about what Indicron is. My background with the site. We've got over 50. I think we actually have over 60 campaigns now.
Yeah.
And what I've done is like I said, I set up the Patreon page, but we've got one person already that has supported us. So I have one patron, and it's been for 2 months straight, which is awesome. But $2 patrons get their name listed on this page. I believe it's $5 gets your link, SEO type stuff, to be able to get an extra link to your web page or to your YouTube page or whatever. But the $15 tier actually lets you promote something. So picture kind of thing with the name of your project. So like if you wanted to maybe talk about your book or something, if you wanted to support it for 1 month, you'd be able to post your book back to it and everything.
I see.
I'm still thinking about other tiers, but yeah.
No, that's cool, man. Definitely, we put in a lot of hard work in, and it's certainly helping the community. Throwing some money your way is a good idea. I mean, because the thing about Indicron is, whether you're a customer or a pro, it's extremely useful to you. And I've heard like John Malin, for instance, saying that he doesn't even go to his campaign page; he just goes to Indicron because it's quicker. So
Yeah, that's really awesome. I would love for more people to use it. I'm already getting a couple hundred people visiting the site. The number of page views is actually in the tens of thousands per week at this point.
Sweet.
That's
awesome.
But there's multiple hundreds, like almost 1,000 users per week are on this website. So the campaigns are getting eyes. They're bigger.
Yeah, so remember, guys, if you see a project that you want to support, had them hit up Pixel and Indicron. Tag the link to Indicron on your tweets. That way, people get interested and look out the projects and campaigns that are active, in demand, or fulfilling. This is the best way to show what this community is doing positively for comics. We want to make comics that appeal to us, that appeals to everybody. And, the only way we're going to show that is to show more exposure. And this is a convenient way to show all the comics that, are falling with us, with all that stuff.
No, absolutely. And it's actually, with that point though, I would put this caveat. Going to Pixtrader and getting your book on there, your Indiegogo book on there, by all means do that. And we and several other people are always pushing Indicron because of how useful it is. But keep in mind, if you're bringing out a book, you are responsible for your marketing. You are responsible for your own success. This community is not obligated to automatically back your book. That is not what we're doing here. We do not function on identity politics. That is not who we are. We are the opposite of that. If you want us to buy your stuff, then bring something good to the community, bring something good to the table, and then we're going to back it. Now, it's certainly going to give you a bonus being in the community because we want to support everything, but don't just expect just because you're in this community that your book's automatically going to be successful. Do your due diligence. Do the legwork. Get out there and market and push it every day. Be involved. If you're not ready to get the book out, if you don't have the time to push and market the book, if you don't have that 30 days to basically not sleep, then don't do it, guys. I mean, it's very, very simple because we've seen a few projects now that have not done well, failed, pulled the projects or what have you, and they turn around and blame us because we didn't buy their book. Well, we didn't even hear about you. Who are you? You're the first time I'm hearing about it, and I'm getting yelled at about it. Don't be silly like that. Use Indicron,
Exactly.
show yourself in the community, but do your work. We respect hard work over here. This is not based upon identity politics. Understand that. We are the opposite of that. Get it.
Yeah, we're a consumer-led movement. Consumer will choose, and that means capitalism. So you have to market and promote your work. It's not like the other side. So make sure.
Huge part of it. Marketing and promotion. A lot of these campaigns, if you see them taking off and blasting through the stratosphere as soon as they launch, it's because they got enough people behind them before they ever considered putting their project. The ones that are just taking off have a large user base that's all ready and raring to go. Aim the community. The ones that just come out and die or to make their goal, a lot of times it's because they only had maybe 100 people that really knew about their book. Your amount of people. If you go and look at Indicron again at some point later, you'll notice the campaigns that are funding have a couple hundred people that have backed them. Where it's under 1,000. Well, I would say under 1,000, but it's a couple hundred people that have to purchase that book at a specific level in order. Because I mean, what, $5,000 is probably the average for the smaller campaigns to be able to back. You're looking at people having to pay what? It'll actually be more than 50 people. 100 people paying $50.
Well, yeah, if it's 50 people, it's 100 people.
$100, yeah.
Yeah.
100 people is $50. You know, it's just not feasible. 500 people, maybe $10 a person. Then you're getting into a better range. But that's 500 people you have to convince to pay you $10 for your book. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you need to build the numbers.
That's why they recommend that if you have a YouTube present, then you have like about 1,000 to 2,000 subs before you even do a project. Launching that way, or you have to be in the circuit and jumping into bigger streams to promote your stuff. And you have to do it constantly. You have to be present in the Twitter and Facebook, and any social media platform, in any avenue of advertising, to make sure that you're promoting your stuff. Otherwise, nobody knows about it and nobody will purchase this. And that's the only first component. The second component, which is the most important component, which we talked about just briefly, is the presentation of your campaign. Mm-hmm. If your campaign does not catch the eye of the consumer, they're not going to take a chance. That's a higher risk. We're not paying $3 or $2 for a comic book. We're paying $25 to $75 in some cases for a comic book. And if the presentation does not fill us with confidence, we're not going to take that risk, of fulfillment, because that's the main for the thing. So,
and simply not just not interested. Don't get me wrong. Use Indicron. Being in the community is certainly a bonus, but you got to do your work, man. You can also do other things like with Gary Shipman. I think what he did was very smart. He's made about 6,000. I think he's probably going to end around 8 or so. But what he's doing is his sketchbook. So it's not his project. That's in the future. He's planned. He's working on it. So what he did was he used Indiegogo for smaller projects. He knew he wasn't going to make crazy money with it. But what he's doing is marketing himself, right? That's a good idea. Another thing you can do is have a lot of these smaller unknown creators. Of course, unknown doesn't mean unskilled, but unknown creators come together and do something together as a book as a marketing push. This is another way you can do it, right? You need to do what we're saying is do the work. Don't go on the back end and whine that people didn't buy your book when you didn't even bother to tell us what you had a book. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It really ticks me off when people do that kind of stuff. If you're going to do it, do it. Be serious about it. In life, there's a simple thing: do or don't, and that's it. And it just makes me mad when I hear this stuff coming back at me, because, Don't even get me started. Sorry. Hello,
No
Did
Dr.
you
Ray.
just quote Yoda?
You did a Yoda.
Do or do or do not. There is no try.
Well, it's true, right? That's how I live my life. Do or don't,
Yeah.
right? It's very simple.
What is Pixel like? You're talking about this guy, the John 3, the 3D, and then you have IndieCron. Are there any other projects that are kind of like intra Comicsgate that are also marketing Comicsgate in a way?
That's a good question. So far, I've seen a couple try. There's a website that is ComicGate.org,
Mhm.
and that one has seemed to die out. Unfortunately, it hasn't been updated in a while. I don't know if it's still an active product, but at the time, it was basically collecting all the books, giving some information about them, and then it also had information about upcoming books. But lately, it's kind of fallen behind on the amount of stuff it's covering. I think it was just one person, kind of like me, that was trying to keep up with everything much.
Okay.
And right now, I'm struggling to keep up sometimes with IndieCron, but I'm doing my best as I can. My work schedule has just been a little crazy lately, but I'm trying to stay on top of it. So right now, out there, and there really needs to be more.
There does need to be more, but I mean, I don't think as many people know about this as they should. I mean, you know, this community just raised $102,000 for something that may not even be needed. Like, we don't even know if your boy Zach needs that money yet, but they raised it in what, 3 days, 2.5 days. So I mean, there's money within this community. I mean, dude's asking for $10,000 to help every single creator that exists.
Yep.
There needs to be
Yeah.
more awareness about this. I mean, I've heard it from a couple times. Like, he goes on John Malin, and John Malin basically, yeah, I'd like that, but he didn't really push it. Nobody's pushing it. Somebody needs to push it. I'm going to push it. We're going to do. I'm going to write a blog about this, and like, my blog's been being seen by, like, Mindy Wheeler, Edwin Boyette, and a few other people. Maybe we can get this out. I mean, do these people know about these projects? I think they would push it if they knew it. I mean, it just seems like, I mean, it's completely not, nonpartisan, apolitical. It's very interesting, and it only helps everybody. I know IndieCron has been pushed by those people a little bit, but I mean, I don't know. I think there needs to be more awareness about all of this.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
I mean,
I would
that's
agree.
why we keep pushing to try to make a hub. Now, we ourselves here at Fanspeak, we are trying to make this a hub of information and communication between the community, the fans, and the pros. That's what we're trying to do. But it doesn't have to be us. It could be somebody else. But it's needed, it's necessary, because the problem is the pros, especially the big channel pros, they are just overwhelmed with emails and DMs on a daily basis, and they just can't even they can't even possibly keep up with it. So what we're trying to do is give them a place where they can have a more calm communication with each other. And if we can get that done, then these kind of things would flow better. Like I said, we're trying to do that here. We're taking the initiative and trying to do that, but that doesn't mean we have to be the one. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, hey, we're taking the reins and we're running with it. So unless
Yeah.
anybody else wants to step up, then what they need to do is come be more involved with what we're doing. But yeah, I agree 100%, Dr. Ray.
I just think that, I mean, these kind of projects that help everybody. I mean, literally, like, this guy, I've heard him talk, and he's like, even the smaller, like, Sugar Lightspeed isn't huge. You know what I mean? And he's already got 3D models of this character, in that mock-up that we saw.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's pretty amazing. I mean, this guy's obviously willing to put in, like, quite a bit of his own time and effort and work and everything, and all he wants is these 3D printers. It's like, come on, man. Like, we can't get this guy money? What does that say?
It's because he
Yeah.
doesn't have exposure. We don't know, and
Yeah.
that's what we need to do. We need to get the word out. So
Everybody,
say-
honestly, like, everybody in this community right now needs to be telling Ethan about this guy. This dude needs a platform.
He does.
Yeah,
Well, and
agreed.
we need Ethan to be pushing IndieCron more. Because if he was more focused on IndieCron and doing like we do, he does love IndieCron. He supports it. We know that. We hear him talk about it. But every show he should be talking about it. And he should showing the IndieCron a little bit is what he should be doing, and that would help a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it would only, like,
yeah.
I mean, I hate to say this, but it's because he doesn't have a project out right now.
Probably. When he does, it will help, I think. But also, this comes back to the thing: we don't want to have to rely 100% on Ethan. But
Yeah.
in this situation, I think he would be very helpful to take the weight off his shoulder by pushing it over to IndieCron. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, help us help you, man. You know,
Yes.
Ethan, you know, help us help you, brother. You know,
Yeah.
help this community help you, because I mean, if you get more people in IndieCron, you'll have to do less to get more. You know, if you put into this, you know, to the 3D project again, you know, you can offer, everybody can offer a whole lot more for less. I mean, you know, this only helps us. This makes it into an actual industry. This is what's going to perpetuate it into something more than just a simple consumer idea. You know, this kind of thing just needs more exposure, man.
It does. And we're going to keep pushing here, man. We are pushing, pushing, pushing. All of you guys listen. I know a lot of you guys here have your own channels. Keep pushing, pushing on that. Keep in mind, if you got a little channel, you should come over here and sit down with us, man. Have a chat, and maybe we can help each other grow. Right? So, you know, don't feel shy about it. Just contact me. The link's right down below, man. I'm easy. I'm completely open. I do not. My name is known. I don't have fake names and tags or anything like that. I am Chester C. Busby III. I'm very easy to get a hold of. Come and talk to me, and we'll get you involved in what we're doing. Because keep in mind, my name might be on the channel, but I am surrounded by a lot of really talented, creative people that are helping everything and making this run. But I am right out there to get a hold of, so don't be afraid to do so.
Make sure to hit the share buttons and share it out to everybody, because you know, even if you don't feel nobody's watching, you never know. It might hit somebody and somebody might be interested and might look into these videos and say, hey, I like what these people are saying. You know, I want to get a part of it. I mean, there was an article that the Wolf said about getting into Comicsgate. I'll read a little bit about it. So let me just put this. This was a person who wasn't interested in comics, and this is what he said. With that said, I think I finally found interest in comics. Seriously, for the last couple of months, I've been following #Comicsgate movement. At first, it was because those were the videos that YouTube put in my face. Quickly, I came to really enjoy the video put out by Comic Arctic Pro Secrets YouTube channel, from which my perspective of the time was mostly about Star Wars. I had no clue who this guy was or what his relationship to comics is. I really liked his Star Wars, Disney, and Marvel commentary. So this was a person outside of comics that found these videos. This is how important it is. About a month ago, I happened to come across his YouTube live stream. In the stream were a handful of comic book artists all shooting the breeze in the Google Hangout. I still knowing nothing about comic books or the industry, I fell in love with the show instantly, and I love the dynamic and interaction of the host, the banter, the agreement and disagreement, and the genuine fun that they seem to have. And that's what's something important that it's failed with what's happening with Twitter, what's happening with the hit pieces. We have to remember why we're in, you know, this community, to have fun. We do have fun here. We do love comics. This is the enjoyment of comics. So we have to remember, you know, there's a lot of negativity, you know, in there. And the only way we can overcome it is showing the positivity for that we pushing into. You know, we know that they're hit pieces, but we know we can have civil discourse along with each other and agree and disagree and still be friends. And that's the important thing, because we want to work together. We want to be part of the solution, not add to the problem. Plus, I will openly admit that I agree with the general philosophy and social political bent of the show and the #Comicsgate movement. Again, I only speak for myself. As long as something doesn't change within the movement that would force me to change my mind, such as violence, actual threat, harassment, hypocrisy, i.e. destroying somebody's career over an opinion, and etc., I am a supporter of Comicsgate, #Comicsgate. So, as you can see, it's getting there. It's moving along.
Yeah, there are people definitely coming in and seeing the real side of everything, and it's just going to take time. One person at a time. If we can do that, that's a win.
Yeah,
we
no,
need
that's
to
true.
be able to put the best foot forward, show people what we've got, and then let them make the decision about who we really are.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true. Little by little.
Don't waste your time fighting the SJWs or them, because you're pulling away energy that you can use to be more creative, to push up the positivity, and you're adding additional stress in your life, and nobody needs that. This is a positive hobby that we want to uplift in comics, and that's what our focus should be: how to make comics better, how to be positive about it, and enjoy ourselves, because ultimately we came here to have fun and be creative and meet more people like us. This is a giant convention that connects us through the internet. And the only way that, we're going to continue this fun is if we work at it and be positive and move more and be part of the solution.
Namaste. Absolutely. But yeah, no, guys. These are all points. We need to grow. We need to push, and we are growing. We've been doing this about almost 2 months, right, Denelli?
Absolutely.
I think about 2 months we've been doing this, and look how much we've grown, and everybody else can grow too, and we can become more and more. In a year from now, maybe these goals that we have will be near fruition, or maybe not. But I guarantee you, we're going to keep pushing. As you see, we're on here every day, and we are doing our thing, and we're trying to have as much fun along the way. And of course, occasionally I have a rant, but I do have a Denali Lama to calm me down. So
absolutely, the first couple weeks we were tentative, but after the third week we started doing it every day, and we seen that growth. And it's just taking that first step and just keep on running no matter what happens. Just keep running and being true to our principle. And if you don't feel right about certain things, that is your principle. That is your right. We're not going to shame you for what you believe in, as long as you're respectful for everybody.
That's right.
Bring yourself up. The more we are upstanding and positive, there's nothing they can say or do to us.
True diversity. Well, guys.
Exactly.
That is our show for today. We covered some interesting, fun topics. We covered IndieCron, which please go support that. That is an awesome thing, and as we said, it's extremely useful. Sorry, we were on a bit of a rant there, so we didn't pay as much attention to the chat as I'd like. But I certainly see John over there. John Dillard, how you doing? And I saw March here. Hello. And he's saying he can barely hear me, but I was just kind of agreeing with him. See else who we had. We had Midnight Cherry TV. Love that name, man. Glad you're in here. But that's our show. So let's go across the board and see where we can find you guys. Denali, where can they find? Oh no, sorry. Come back to you at the end. Sorry. Dr. Wright, where can we find you?
Sorry about that. You can find me at Dr. Wright is in on Twitter. Please do follow me. I'm coming out with a new book pretty soon. It's going to be interesting, controversial topic, but I think everybody's going to love it. We're talking to somebody about, we're going to talk about somebody making a beautiful communal effort toward getting two parties together that have since been divided. And we're going to try to bring people together in peace and harmony and love, baby. Love.
Sweet. All right, man. That's a nice little tease you put on there. All right, Pixel Man, tell them where we can find you.
Let's see. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. All of them are /Pixel Trader and no place at the same time. So find me there. Really want to go, though. Spend your time on IndieCron. If you find a project that you think is worthy of being on IndieCron, or they're struggling, they need some help, and they are friends of the community, or they are part of the community, at IndieCron on Twitter. And make sure we get them listed out.
All right, man. And just keep in mind that tomorrow is Fan Speak, and we have a really good guest, Denali. We have the T-Bird in Throttle. His name is Josh Howard. We're looking forward to talking to him. I love the look of this book, so definitely join us for that. Check out all our links and get involved. So Denali, take us out, man.
All right. So you are the persons responsible for your own reality. You're accountable what's good and what's bad. There's things that you can't control, but the things that you can control, always make it good.
Namaste. All right, guys. Later, everybody. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Aloha.
Have a good night, folks.